Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week full of action here for Street Fighter League Pro-JP. My name is Vicious, here with my man Saint Cola to break down this week's matches, as we only have 9 days left before we determine who gets into the playoffs. And of course, we're always pretty excited every single week, but I gotta ask my man Saint Cola to fill us in. How are we doing and how are we feeling about this week's matches?
In regards to this week's matches, this is a week of redemption. We have two teams that are at the bottom, and they gotta get these points. We are, as you said, only 9 days away from the finale for the playoffs, getting to the end, and you gotta get some wins. You gotta get some W's. In fact, we're gonna be having those coming up. But coming up on the screen right now is just to showcase you all those 9 days that are come up in play, which you're gonna be seeing throughout the week, so you guys can take a look at the teams. And all these teams are playing for the playoffs in January. Also in January is going to be the grand finals too as well. Those are going to take place in sometime in January. Both of those, second to fifth place at the end of the league, will be playing for the playoffs. The first place will be sitting nice in the top spot, and the other two teams will play for the playoffs. Will move on to grand finals along with the first place of the league, and the top two teams of the grand finals will move on to the World Championship to represent Japan against the other teams in the Street Fighter US League.
Exactly right. You're seeing this graphic for the first time. This is how the breakdown goes for the playoff happening early January 2022. Second through fifth place will be put into a bracket to qualify for the grand finals. The top two teams in this scenario will be facing off against the #1 team. Again, they got to face off against each other again in the grand finals going in late January 2022. And of course, there's so much on the line. You can see just how big that number is. 8 million yen, which is about 44K USD, split up amongst the 4 members of each team. And you can see even further out, second place getting 2 million, third place getting 1 million. Either way, it's no matter how you split it, it's still going to be a good amount of change in cash. Man, it's so early, but I'll tell you what we've been anticipating is seeing how these teams have been getting a lot of these points. I've been trying to get some of these points. I hope the translator doesn't mess that one up for me, because I'll tell you what, it's been pretty early, but we're getting into it right now. A little bit of talks from last week's matches as we get into it. The most recent matchup we saw was between Mildom Beast V6 plus FAV Roto Z, as well as Gyogun and Nagoya Oja Bodystar. As you can see right here, Mildom Beast versus V6 plus FAV Roto Z. It broke down to 3-1, and we know how important all those points are for Mildom Beast in their current predicament. However, V6 just maintaining their positioning between second and fifth place.
See right there, that fantastic match at the end, as Tokido had switched over to Yuri to take the victory over YC Mochi in a draw game. I think that might be the first one that we saw. And then we had Nagoya Oja Bodystar going up against Gyogun, getting a 3-1 victory right here. And also a fantastic ending match, anchor match, I should say, from Dogura, taking it from a reverse sweep over Mizuha. Fantastic matches. If y'all missed anything, make sure y'all check out the VODs on any of the applicable channels, Milodon, YouTube, and Twitch as well. But the action don't stop. We gotta continue on, and again, gotta be above the red line at the bottom to stay fine. We have Good 8 Squad, FAV Roto Z, Oja Bodystar, Gyogun, Shinobiism, all in the top 5 spots right there. 6th, 7th, and 8th, and Milodon Beast, Soul, and Detonation clawing their way up, trying to get above that line, but the points are so close, Vicious. It's actually dang near close. Look at 2 to 3 right here. Not that bad.
No, you're absolutely right. Again, you want to stay fine for the winter time, be above that red line. If you do not, you're not going to be participating for the playoffs, right? So this is ever so important. You talked about that redemption. You talked about how important these points are for those bottom 3 teams. And it just so happens some of those teams are on the chopping block right now. They're actually being put on the spotlight. And you can see how it's been going down in each and every one of those VODs and how much emotion goes through from both sides, the winning team and the losing team. You get to see the full-on breakdown over on multiple social media channels. Of course, Mildom, YouTube, Twitch, exactly where you need to check it out, as well as following Capcom_esports over on Twitter and letting those people know how much support you've been giving a lot of these teams, whether it's from the stateside, international, English-speaking, Japanese-speaking as well. All the support obviously shows up here at Street Fighter League Pro-JP. But with that in mind, we're getting into our couple of games for today. Shinobiism Gaming facing off against Camouflage Detonation, as important as ever. Shinobiism still within 2nd through 5th. Camouflage Detonation within the bottom 3, so we know what's exactly on the line. for this team. The away team, that is. That is Camouflage Detonation led by my man, the sturdy breadwinner, Itabashi Zangief, followed by one of the biggest and best Sakura players, Evo champ, Naomi. It doesn't get any younger than this, though. John Takeuchi coming in, the Prince of Light with that Rashid, one of the members of Round 5 as well, and backed by the returning monk, the ever so gallant Tachikawa with that E-Honda, who's also been playing Poison, who's also been playing a plethora of characters, but nonetheless making his return back into Street Fighter V with the Camouflage Detonation team.
Fantastic to see him play in this whole team right here, but as we said, they are at the bottom, and their opponents, the Ops, are going to be super difficult to handle. It's going to be Shinobi-ism Demon coming through. At the lead is the head ninja himself, Momochi, and you heard that right, he is a ninja by lineage. Right behind is going to be the master of lethal himself, Fujimura. Don't let that Candy or that Chun-Li pick fool you. It's all about the scammy candy play. And then behind him is the experienced youth, Higuchi, who is solidified in the CPT. All right, gonna be seeing him next year. And then Toyama's talent, Otani, who is yet to find a win. But I'll tell y'all, I'll give y'all a little bit of trivia. This dude, I checked out his stream. He was dabbling the Akuma, so he might be going back to the Satsui no Hado. Maybe, it's possible, but has yet to find a victory.
I'd be pretty excited about that. I mean, overall, I think Akuma is still in a solid place. But when we're looking at how it played out the last time they played, Shinobi-ism took it down completely. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just a pure dominant 4-0 victory over Camouflage Detonation. And I gotta say, maybe it's because Johnny Tak wasn't a part of Round 5. You know, he didn't have that kind of training for the J-pop group. Hence why he wasn't able to get that W. But all jokes aside, we can see what the away roster is planning very, very soon and what the order is going to be like. Camouflage Detonation again with Itabashi Zangief, Nauman, John Takeuchi, and Tachikawa. It seems like the captain is on the bench. John Takeuchi is going up front with that Cody. Nauman with another show as Ken. And Tachikawa playing that Chun-Li.
Wow, okay. We did see the Chun-Li come into play last time. Didn't really work out. Maybe some training has happened between the weeks. He's went through the training arc, and now it's tournament time to stay fine. Let's see what the home team does. They have the advantage of the situation to be able to, you know, acclimate against what their opponents are going to do, deliberate, and say, okay, these matchups are going to be great. And, you know, last time they had the victory, they're going to have to come up and come correct again, because I feel like after they didn't get, you know, the other team didn't get the win, they're like, okay, cool, I got you, I know what to do. But let's see what Shinobi-ism is going to, after they put what they put on their deck, what Team Detonation is going to do in response. You know, I'm like I said before, I would love to see the Akuma. That's just me personally, right? I want to see more of the Akuma play, and I feel like that's something that Otani has worked with before. That he's seen success prior to Street Fighter League Japan. The switch review not really working out, but at the same time, maybe he's done a lot of training to get ready, prepared. Looks like Shinobi-ism is surprised with the rosters that they see on the screen. Fujimura is saying this is good for us. Momochi's saying, well, we have a plan, so let's go with it. And again, that's the great thing about Street Fighter League in general, right? You have a plan that you can formulate, deliberate against the other team. You can say, oh, they're going to do this, this, and that. We got a formation ready for them.
And as surprised as they are, you know, Shinobi-ism pretty much saying they're kind of surprised to see this roster. I take it perhaps they weren't ready for the captain to take a seat on the bench, but saying that they have a plan for it anyway does not surprise me at all, especially with the likes of Momochi and Fujimura being the two veterans of the squad, and Uchi also being one of the rising stars, making it into Capcom Cup, and Otani, of course, still trying to find his bearings, I feel like, with that Ryu/Akuma. But as we establish ourselves, it's going to be J-Tak as Cody going up against Fujimura's Kami, who has been absolutely dominating the competition. And in no buzzwords here, no sarcasm, this man has one of the best win records in Street Fighter League this season for Japan.
Absolutely. Fujimura saying last time they swept him, it was easy. He said, why not this time too? So already going with the confidence, that's the machine himself. No longer man, all machine right here, staying super mean. This dude hit confirms off of the crouching light, making dang near every button that comes out from Cammy even more deadly. And the fact that she's able to get OK situations consistently makes it hard to combat. You see again the record 6-7 right there, 8 points for the team. A lot of bar used for the 2.85 in terms of EX. Only 0.50% right there on the in terms of CAs. But going back to the matchup, though, you know, we're seeing a lot more of, you know, people playing out matchups, whether they're bad or good. I think the Cody matchup actually isn't the worst thing in the world to fight Cammy. I don't think Cody really beats Cammy, but he can deal with the aerial approach. We've seen the V-skill come through. You know, grounded approach, he can kind of stay solid. If he does land those hits, it's going to hurt. She breaks like, you know, wet paper. So if he can get the hands on him, could happen. Could see a victory.
Kind of like letting the paper mache dry, but then moving it too eagerly. Yeah, I could get that. I could definitely get that with the wet paper reference. In terms of how John Takeuchi would want to approach against Cammy, it's going to be a little tough, right? I think John Takeuchi might have the right idea with something like V-Skill 1 in terms of stopping the aerial approach and maybe playing the mid-range game a little bit better. Having a projectile is pretty important in this game, I would say, or at least in this particular matchup. So very curious to see how this is going to play out as we get ready for the home trivia coming in hot and heavy. I'm curious if it's going to be the same kind of topic as last time, because we didn't really get to hear from all the teams in terms of their remarks towards the commentators as well as the hosts. But the theme is, if the players have anything to this, yeah, you know, I called it right. If the players have any sort of remarks towards the commentators, the MCs and reporters, Otani wants to go for a meal with Aru.
Word?
That's extra.
That's great. Aru seems like he's a chill dude. I feel like by the way he dresses, I feel like just you can tell that he knows the great spots, right? Like I feel like just by the way that he looks, like he's always with a drip, you know that he knows the right spots to take you.
I'd imagine so. Yeah, I mean, like with the amount of wardrobes that they have, no doubt in my mind they're eating real nice. That'd be actually pretty cool. No, all jokes aside, though, I would love to see kind of B-roll footage or even like behind the scenes footage of some of these players interacting with some of the commentators in Street Fighter League as well. To kind of add on to it, Fujimura actually says he's happy that their games get analyzed, but at the same time it's kind of stressful too, knowing that their matches are pretty much under a microscope. So he appreciates it, but at the same time it's a little nerve-wracking for some of these players, which is quite the surprise to hear from someone like Fujimura. This man has been in the scene for quite some time and he still feels that kind of stress. It's like, oh man, like I'd imagine watching back some of your matches can be stress-inducing.
Hamiko says, though, he's confident that their matches are, you know, analysis worthy. He's like, yo, you got some good matches coming through. You be giving us something to, you know, really work for. And let's see what Fujimura does. If he can take the shakes off, of course he will. I mean, this dude's all machine when he gets in the match. Puts hands on the sticks. He's a sideboard. Let's see if John T can dismantle him. It's going to be difficult to get that win again. As we said before, you know, the grounded game, maybe not the best for Cody, especially if he gets caught up in the corner. Not having a 3-frame to challenge some of these situations might be difficult. That back medium punch from Cammy going to be ever so important to keep laying on the pressure. And he's got some good pokes too, that medium kick too.
Yeah, we talk about that medium kick a good amount of times when it comes to Cammy. And you can see John Takeuchi kind of going, oh my god, immediately getting the trade combo off of the Zonk Knuckle. I'm looking for the counter pokes here from John Takeuchi. He's found 2 already. Now putting Fujimura in the corner. Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. He tried to option select the jump and punish the escape, but still not enough as Fujimura's already brought it back to screen activation off the counter hit.
Gets the counter hit again. It's done and done. Fujimura using that medium kick to get it done. Using that for the activation, for the extension, right? We see the crouch medium kick come through from, you know, Cammy or the crouch fears. Not going for the most obvious choice. And now up around. Back throw immediately, trying to catch him up in the corner. You gotta be super careful. I like that light buffer into the ruffian, but Fujimura be fighting back.
Yeah, he's pretty much dominating any of the space where it comes to medium range buttons, right? John Takeuchi still finding the mark now with a standing medium punch, starting to get the rhythm of how Fujimura wants to play and finding the spots where he wants to press those buttons. Hence why the trades have been happening so much more often.
Fujimura has to be careful. The health differential is not in his favor. He can't take too many of these trades right here, but he is on V-trigger. Definitely make the return over C and enforce the mix after the V-trigger, or actually after the super, but the bar is being used. The buffer though from Tachikawa, I'm sorry, Tachikawa, look at the name, from John T. Already ready. He's got the extension with the knife that will help out in the neutral. The extensions off the fierce and the mediums.
My God, back-to-back neutral, or excuse me, jump-ins from Fujimura. Still not being able to stop him, but there's gonna be a lot of chip damage. Okay, I was gonna say there could be chip damage coming in from John Takeuchi because of the knife, But either way, I'm liking that. Extending his normals, being able to counterpoke a little bit more. You can see how John Takeuchi has caught the timing of Fujimura relatively early against the neutral here.
John T trying to use the exalt to come through in the neutral. Such a great tool, apply the plus ranks. But that poke, even at that distance right there, is like really good in preemptively stopping that approach from happening. EX, the B skill on man's had the reaction. We're talking about that as an anti-air approach, but now with the grounded addition though, Fujimura trying to poke the crouch, we need to kick a lot more too, trying to find the openings, but gets opened up instead with a crush. B skill extension, getting that bar in the feature activation too.
And look at this, so much more control in the corner. Now that the knife is out, he's still able to get that confirmed. Yes, sir, activate into even more of the slashes now. No more trigger on deck, but still plus frames. That's an excellent time. He's a V reversal. The counterpoke is there again. John Takeuchi interrupting the timing against Fujimura. Looking like a whole different beast. I feel like since the last time we saw him, I've never seen him play at this rhythm before. He is looking super sharp, and I'm not talking about that V trigger one.
Ooh, I feel like he's really gotten a hold of what Cody's supposed to do. And, you know, if you would have said he's a Rashid player, I would have never known, because the amount of work that he's been putting in Street Fighter League with this Cody pick has been ridiculous. It already is up around, and some of these exchanges are just not in favor of Fujimura. The damage is coming through with this character, and we said, if you get the damage going, she's going to crumble.
Oh, crush. God, getting a big crush counter now. Backing away, and I like this from John Takeuchi. You know, one more sequence is gonna stun Fujimura. He gets exactly that. He builds just enough bar to extend. A perfect KO from the young man. This is the most we've seen Fujimura bleed in a set ever. This man has only lost one game so far here in the season, but John Takeuchi is looking to put another L on the board for Fujimura. And look at this, off to a great start again, close to stun, and just about in the corner. It's so detrimental for Fujimura.
Look at these trades, all in favor of him. That would have been Iazaki, would have got the win, but still gets the stun. One more decision after this, he'll definitely get it done. What's the wake-up decision? Yo, challenge though, catches the walk back, and just like that, decides with the B trigger. Put him in the corner, enact that scamming Kami pressure, but you can't take too many more hits. That standing light kick has been absolute money for John T out here. He's been bumping right behind it. V reversal, but keep Fujimura in the corner, and a medium kick to do it. John T coming through with the Cody pick. Gets the victory against Fujimura.
That was the most dominant performance I've ever seen from John Takeuchi. No sarcasm, no nothing. Clear cut and dry. That easily was the biggest morale booster we could possibly ask for Combo Fun Detonation, and Fujimura not looking too happy about that. The first we've actually seen slight emotion. He had a smirk on his face as he actually got beat down, but as he retracts his controller, as he retracts his joystick, he's saying to himself, man, how did I get bodied that hard? Fujimura looking not himself, but John Takeuchi, I say more credit to him. He actually was looking ridiculously good. All the counter pokes coming in hot, really getting full control of game number 2. It's been, honestly, I think that was the best showcase of Cody we've seen so far.
Yeah, there was a time where, you know, John D did put in the work against Daigo. That was also dominant too, but this is up here. It's really good. It's a really good amount of placement with a standing light kick, and we didn't see Fujimura really deal with that too much. He tried to run a standing medium kick on his side, but the buffers were coming through with the medium punch, crouching medium punch, standing medium kick, things like that to just enact a lot of that pressure. We talked about the damage being big for Cody. If he hits you, it's going to hurt. You check the red, you're basically dead with this character. If Fujimura not able to find these comeback situations that you usually see from Kami, that's a win on the board, and that's big for Detonation. Again, they are at the bottom. They are trying to claw their way up to the top, at least above that red line, to be in the top 5 spot. And Fujimura, you were sitting there saying it was gonna be a wash. I don't know about that one. Detonation's off to a great explosive start.
Yeah, you would think Fujimura was looking for the kind of repeat from their first encounter instead of getting the clean sweep. He gets quite the opposite. A full sweep there from John Takeuchi. Absolutely critical. Nauman coming up next with the Ken. I'd imagine Higuchi would want to play this matchup out I think having the Sonic Boom against someone like Ken is pretty important. Now, we know we've seen Ken change significantly for the better, being able to HP, or I should say Heavy Punch, Dragon Punch through projectiles. But I'd still imagine Higuchi would want to control the pace with this character, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Higuchi is indeed going to be facing off against Nauman's Ken, leading Otani to be the anchor for the set.
Yeah, I think the Sonic Booms aren't completely taken off the table. You can, Heavy Punch DP, as you said before, but there's a lot of difficulty there, and there's also good normals on the side of Guile to still combat Ken. Like, it's not free. I feel like when that got the buff, but going back real quick to the stats right here, 4 out of 6, and then, 4 out of 8, and then 3 out of 6 right here, so they're evenly tied. Both of them, on the same amount of win streaks and loss streaks in terms of like half and half. A lot of bar and EX bar being used, 5.33 right there, and CA only 60% right there on the side of Nauman. But going back to the matchup, a lot of people watched this as it came through with the Heavy Punch DPs. They thought there was going to be a major buff for Ken in this matchup, but you don't always reach for free, and the timings of the booms can be different. Higuchi says that he wants to win and let Otani continue the win streak. So they're believing in Otani this week. They're really believing in Otani. He's been practicing a lot. I wonder again what he's going to be using. Maybe in the anchor match we'll be able to switch back and forth between Ryu and Akuma, but we're not there yet. Let's stay on topic with Higuchi versus Nauman again. Dog, this is going to be sick. I love watching Nauman's Ken, though. It's something we got to see a lot of Street Fighter League. We had to see it once more, but I guess he dabbled in it before. Obviously, he's put some time with that Ken, but I wonder how it's going to be against someone like Higuchi.
We've only seen Otani play, I feel like, one time over, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of scary. I feel like Otani has been practicing a lot with Momochi, even on stream, but there hasn't been too many games from the side of Otani in terms of with that Ryu. On the other hand, Tachikawa also hasn't had a lot of success himself. Although he's only played 3 matches thus far in the season, I think he's played Rashid and Chun-Li pretty much evenly, because there was one set where he switched characters on the loss. But as it stands right now, both Rashid and Chun-Li has been doing too well. So that's the anchor match. That's going to be coming up way later. Right now, it's going to be Nauman versus Higuchi. And as we get ready for it, the trivia has been going on. Itazan told Hamiko that he wants to be featured by Hamiko on the recap stream. That'd be very nice. Itazan always trying to get the spotlight, as expected. Nauman telling both the female reporters that are learning to play Street Fighter V, as we get ourselves ready for the rest of the statement. I thought he was already ready, but he was talking about the reporters who have been pretty much going through all of the tweets and the support statements for the team, that I'd imagine that he appreciates them putting in the amount of effort that they've done for the game, and that I'm assuming that Nauman's pretty glad that they're even picking it up and getting themselves acquainted with not only Street Fighter V, but with the fighting game community. To get the full actual statement, he told Ando-san, who's a female reporter speaking now, that he has to start using the same costume and color that he used to be good with Sakura. I see. Okay, so the power-up lies within the color choice and the costume. It makes sense.
Gotta have the right color. I mean, I feel like if you don't have the right color and costume choice, like you're not situated with that character. And Tachikawa says he wants to tell Ando maybe something similar in terms of having the support. But really quick before we even get to the second half of that part of the interview, I really like the fact that they are buffing them up and say, hey, you can do it. I'm seeing one of them rank up, I believe, or at least putting a lot of work in terms of win streaks. And it's good to see them working out. Maybe we'll see them Street Fighter League Japan in a couple of years, or maybe next year. Who knows? They might be the new rising stars later. But back in the match, Higuchi coming through against, man, Nauman with that Ken.
Very interesting to see. I love actually seeing Nauman's Ken come into play. It's been very, very inspirational, actually. We talked about that earlier. We were like, the way that he moves makes me want to play Ken. And he's got a W with that character too. He's currently 100% when he played off against Akira. So maybe it can work out again.
I mean, having hit converts, it's like the big thing. Like, you have to have that with Sakura. You definitely have to have that with Ken. And we saw the cross-reading kick in the DP to right the boom. Here we go, though. Higuchi, as soon as I say the commentator's curse, was working him in the corner. The DP gets some of that distance. Goes for the back, though. I like that. And look at the distance that you are carried on that back throw situation. Ken is all about putting in the corner, try to find the fadeaway. No go, though. Higuchi with the activation, putting the baby boomer on him.
I like that. Give him a little bit of a jab step. And Nauman still Tatsu and the uppercut still. A back throw will be more than enough. He got the counter and he got the jab actually first, and then still got the throw punish. Nauman showing how strong he is with a different type of Shoto. Ken massive. A family feud actually between Ken and Guile.
Oh yeah.
Higuchi actually still falling to something. Damn, the reactions on that. That was so slick. I love seeing that anti-air against EX Tatsu. Nice work, Higuchi.
Yeah. And that come through for free. Sing out the baby boom, or sing out the normal booms. Unfortunate inconsistencies, as some Ken players would say. Too far for the DP to reach right there. Gucci taking with the momentum. Put him locked up in the corner. He's got the EX bar to also apply even more pressure with the plus frames and the spacing too. Even 0 on block with the booms. Don't matter if you have the right spacing. Got that fist, that burn knuckle to come through to lock him down. Gets the EX knocked down. Sweep off the feet. Higuchi with a one-touch situation. That walked up back throw though. Nauman saying this ain't gonna be for free, my friend. You gotta pay.
Man, okay, that was gonna lead to trigger no matter what. It just so happened that Nauman got caught by a stray bullet. Now, looking back at it, I feel like, you know, Nauman could have just kept throwing Higuchi. He's like, you know, Higuchi's willing to take the throw. He has life lead. But right now, Higuchi getting another chance at life, at least tying the rounds up, is ever so important, because the more he dissects your gameplay, the less of a chance you have at getting back at it.
That's absolutely true. Higuchi though, hitting the upside down kick, counter hit, super situation. This is great. Won't kill, but puts him in the prime position to take it. I like him using the B skill too. The Sonic Cross, dominating the neutral. Ken cannot play the fireball game the same way that Guile can. The zoning, the dash up, tech though, one touch situation. This is good for Higuchi, just needs one touch or tap, and that'll do it right there. Higuchi with the first win, controlling the Ken.
There's just so much precision now coming in from Higuchi and controlling the pace against Nauman. A lot of the times it's been booms. The other amount of times it's been well-placed normals and anti-airs. Higuchi finding his rhythm early is an absolute threat for someone like Nauman. I don't know if he'll be switching out to Sakura in this instance. I do think his Ken did just okay, but I feel like Sakura would be so much harder. That's just an opinion of mine. I think in particular for the Guile versus Sakura matchup.
I actually agree. I think Sakura only gets a few times to shine. She can't really deal with the fireballs as well. She doesn't have that many anti-fireball things, and you have to be a V-trigger to cut through the fireballs. You get some good corner pressure and positioning, things like that. Same way with Ken, but you're more in the damage than the mix-ups. But I do feel like the Ken can do it, right? It's just taking away some of that momentum that Gucci has, and trying to walk in that space to threaten with the heavy punch DP, because I feel like Higuchi was outside the distance with the sonic booms to say, listen, if I throw the sonic boom, I know you're gonna whiff and you're gonna get hit. Higuchi up one, already on game point to see what goes down.
Into game number 2 already, Higuchi is trying to get within that range where he would think, or at least he would have Nauman thinking, he's gonna throw out these normals and then throwing out some of these booms, and then switching back into his own normals. I like that. No big punish there from Higuchi, excuse me.
He's trying to walk up and get that cross-reading kick situation right here. Nauman trying to interrupt the booms as well with a heavy kick. No crush though. Higuchi playing really solid. There's the light in the DP and the throw too as well. But Higuchi just takes that momentum right back, the control right back.
Oh boy, big confirm now from Nauman. He's gonna get the corner carry too from the light Tatsu, heavy DP, dash up, and now applying pressure from frame traps. But here comes Higuchi off spin activation, the big challenge from Nauman. Nothing of it though. Back throw now for the side switch, full control back in Higuchi's favor. Just about tied. If he gets a big confirm, he's gonna go into critical art. Yep, that's exactly it.
You knew it. And now has a lead, can play that zoning game. Oh, he dashed up. Usually you gotta come to him to get that win, but Higuchi played this range so like he can play at any range that he wants. Zone 1 all the way to 3. And this is the danger right here. Walks into a boom again. Higuchi one away for that win.
can't believe that actually happened. I think Nauman also was waiting in anticipation because of the fact that he has V-Trigger 2. It makes him an even bigger threat when it comes to like countering any sort of projectiles. I like that. Here comes Nauman, especially after the confirm. Another big confirm off the low forward. This time not missing the mark from being too far out. Big counter hit. Okay, I like that. Big enough to get the corner control. And now it's all Nauman.
All dang day, just needs to find a better way to play the cross up. That'll stun and done. Nauman fighting back. And I like that. Just slowing down the gameplay a little bit more. Find a few more crouch wing kick confirms in that jump and calling out the V-Trigger activation. Nauman, can he stay solid enough to give us more games?
Oh, I'd imagine so, but right now, the way that he's been playing, yes, sir, he's keeping Higuchi on a leash with some of these normals, especially the stand roundhouse. Oh my god, again Higuchi with the reactions against the crouching, excuse me, the airborne EX Tatsu.
Look at that boom confirm right there. So aware to find the confirm off the sweep of these booms. Flash kick too. Tech knew it was obvious. Back fist, check my wrist. One touch. And Higuchi's got the EX bar to really threaten that fast-paced approach. Upside down kick, and that'll do it, Higuchi. Taking it over now and calling the crouching knee kick with full control. That's the way God like to play.
Yeah, there was, I feel like there's such a huge gap in terms of skill when it comes to that matchup, at least. Nauman, who has been playing Ken more recently than not, has practiced with this character even before the league, but as it stands right now, I think Higuchi has completely outclassed him, at least in that particular matchup. You saw the showcase. Higuchi only needed a couple of rounds to dissect how Nauman wanted to play, and we see the results 2-0.
I do like the fact that he was, playing off the tendencies. That's how Higuchi really plays. Like, he'll play off your tendencies. Like, there's no way this dude was going to walk up on me like that. He's got the lead and zone me out all dang day. I've got V-Trigger. I'll pop that sucker if I need to. Nah, he walked up, got going with the pressure, and I feel like that takes, even someone like Nauman off balance. And again, not, as you said, having the amount of experience, was not able to land the win. Nauman going down. That's a 4-6 right there in terms of anti-airs. We saw the crouch fears come through against the EX Tatsu. That was super sick. No anti-airs or bust outs though from Nauman. I wonder if those would have, at least for the EX side, would have, found the mark in terms of dimming down Higuchi's control, but maybe not, because Higuchi definitely stagger stepped a lot of the normals. So now we have 2-2 on both sides, all evened out. It's going down to the anchor match.
Right, and with this fact in mind, considering both teams have a win under their belt, they are no longer able to get a tie placement or a draw placement between the two teams. It's pretty much do or die time for Camouflage Detonation and Shinobiism Gaming. Camouflage Detonation definitely needs points way more than Shinobiism Gaming, as we see, or as we have seen in the current rankings, being below the red line. I think Camouflage Detonation, again, being at the very bottom. I think in last place. It slipped my mind a little bit, but still bottom 3. Otani is stepping up into the plate now against Tachikawa using Akuma.
Let's go. I've been waiting for this. I've been watching his stream. I was watching him play Sunny Gao and a few other players and things like that, and I was like, please let this come back, because this is what he's been known for. Daigo had trained Otani to play Tokido and figure out the Akuma matchup a long time ago. And Otani grew from that. He's been one of the best Akuma players, going back to business, back to basics. And if he does need to switch back to Ryu, he can do so. You see right there, a lot of EX bar being used, 5.43 right there. No CAs on the side of Otani being used at all. That is kind of ridiculous. His average EX gauge used per match is 5.43, and he's only played 7 rounds. Tachikawa, though, person who's been hungry for the win. I feel like he's been dropped away from sealing out rounds. Otani says that he's a good friend with Tachikawa, but he wants to trash him in this match. We chill outside. We put hands on sticks. I'm putting hands on you.
Damn! 6 feet, social distancing. Hey, look, I know I misspoken a little bit from Otani. I was looking at his record. He actually has gone 0-3, as you can see in the stats, but more specifically, he played Ryu the entire time, and he hasn't won a single game. It's really unfortunate. He may have gotten some rounds, but as it stands on his current record, he hasn't won any games, and that's got to be extremely tough, because he's been practicing with Momochi. He's been hopping onto his streams, and Momochi would host lobbies to get Momochi ready for the next couple of matches. But as it stands right now, you know, he might have his chance against one of his own homies. Man, you hate to see it too. It's like if you beat your homie and get your first W, that would be kind of rough. Ooh. It goes for both players, really, for Otani and Tachikawa, because Tachikawa also sitting at 0-3. Here we go, the anchor match between Shinobi's and Gaming and Camouflage Detonation.
Back on the Akuma pick, Crouch kick in the Tatsu. Demon Flip goes for the command grab. Tachikawa wasn't aware. Too far off the dive kick though. Akuma still strong this season. Don't let the nerves fool you. He just takes a little bit more work and effort to apply that pressure that we are, typically used to seeing. He's still a toolkit of Street Fighter V. Fireballs on aisle 6, Tatsu's on aisle 7. Crush finds a mark and the throw. The sun's rising.
Oh, this is going to be huge for Tachikawa now outside of the corner, but EX busts out, EX uppercut. You better put that one on the board. Otani striking first blood.
Round 2. Fight.
I like that catch back on the crouch arena kick. Would have called a V-shift too. Already situated and solid. And again, the crouch arena kick to go underneath the heavy kick. He's playing the footy game very well. There's the air right there. EXDP didn't even wait and bang. He didn't let that sequence run. He's just trying to get it done. That sun's rising, and the damage, unfortunate for Akuma, because this dude definitely bleeds. Weakest character in terms of health, but not in terms of damage or toolkit. Side switch. Gets the meaty on him.
Absolutely huge. Just about even in life, getting closer to the sun. One more throw is actually going to do it. An excellent time of reversal. Tachikawa, he still has a chance. That is a huge, significant drop. Otani thought he had to confirm. Committed to the special. That was a Tatsu and a big punish from Tachikawa staying alive.
Wonder if some of that's just, rust from not playing the character as long, you drop him for a different one, or you put him to the side for a little bit and you just get a little rusty. You gotta have those hit confirms with this character. As you see, the character melts, Akuma melts, I should say, with a few hit confirms here and there. But applying out with the pressure, now applying all the fireballs, that's difficult for, if you got a good fireball game, it's difficult for Chun-Li to come through. It's one of her pain points.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And Otani hasn't been able to utilize that too often. I feel like he's been so tunnel vision in terms of trying to punish, or at least punish some of these normals, which is a cool thing. I get it. Like, you want to punish Chun-Li like that. But as it stands, you got to use Akuma to the fullest of his strengths. It makes sense.
Well, the strikes could be crouching kick into super situation. He needs to find that one touch, and that'll do it. Otani with the first victory right in the Guretsuha. Super situation right there. Otani, this is what he's been known for. This is what he's been melded in. The Satsui no Hado, going back to the darkness. And I like this. When he's got the hit confirms, he's dangerous. And I also like the fact that he's willing to spend a lot of bar in any of these rounds, right? Some of the Akuma players will love to save up their CA in all the rounds to get that one hit to do it for the CA. Not Otani. He'll be willing to spend that bar just for EXDP, or maybe sometimes EXDP foot we might see. So if you're Tachikawa, you'd be thinking about all these options that Akuma presents and try to find an opening.
Ooh. Speaking of openings, now he's playing a little bit on the back end, but still, that's a great confirm for Otani. Now getting the Demon Flip grab. Tachikawa still trying to maintain his positioning, but at least out of the corner, I should say. Man, a lot of these hit confirms being missed. There we go. Otani now on it. A little delay on the counter hit from the crouching medium punch, but still applying that pressure with the lows. Tachikawa slowly walking himself out of the corner. Big interruption now.
Reactions to V-Trigger. Pop locked. Unloading. Activation of the fireball. Heavy DP knockdown. You gotta hold this. Bit of a frame kill. No! That had to have been a fireball. That missed input cost him his life. Let me tell you something, Vicious. I was talking to some Akuma players, and they said you have to, this season, work even harder. Your character's so strong, right? But it's so difficult to stay as solid as possible because misses like that cost you everything.
Man, that is a significant drop for Otani. I would think, that's a big booster for Tachikawa, as you can see him taking full advantage of that one situation of staying alive.
Universal doesn't get that much distance. Still caught up in the corner. No anti-air or even back heavy though.
Tachikawa is looking in prime position to take this game, all because of that significant drop from Otani. Critical art, oh boy, not enough chip, not even close. A full punish. Still maintaining on the same side.
Give me
this is actually pretty. Oh, that's it!
Oh, the chip!
Oh my God! And he gets to save the critical art. Tachikawa playing with his food. really unfortunate. With food on the line, you cannot make those kind of mistakes. Tachikawa, again, not finishing his plate. This is actually pretty nerve-wracking for Otani. You got to be thinking to yourself, it's like, man, did I just get lucky? I got to finish it now.
Gobble him up like it's a Thanksgiving dinner out here. Otani. And you see Akuma having some of the best returns off the light confirms. I feel like you get those Tatsus in those DP situations. You get so much off the 3-frame. Air throw though, Tachikawa was awake and aware. Got the no-nos on the deck. Trying straight with the fireballs. Careful though. One good EX will get the knockdown situation. Otani willing to spend that bar to get it done. Whipping a DP vicious. This ain't looking good.
It's too shallow. He tried to do it. But either way, you know, it was a good attempt for the anti-air, just the wrong decision to use that DP. But now Tachikawa in full control in this corner for medium punch to test the movement against Otani. Standing fierce again, back-to-back, a third one, barely whiffing, fourth one. How many times is he going to press this button? And how often is Otani going to let slide? Number 5, 6, 7, 8. Can we see 10? Oh my God, the roundhouse instead.
Otani.
Do it.
Tachikawa. Sweep off the feet. Back throw. Oh, here we go. Blocking out the air fireball. Air to air right there. The trade. No, Tachikawa with another drop. And Otani with another win of the CA to seal it. Ah! Otani.
Man, Otani getting pretty fortunate. They're pretty fortunate about that one. I'd imagine there's a lot of nerves coming in for both of these players. But as it stands right now, since it is best of 5, Tachikawa cannot afford to slip like that. It is 2 games already in favor of Otani. But we'll see, man. We'll see if the name Returning Monk means something. We'll see if he can come back from this huge deficit and a very critical drop.
It's looking like the return of the Mac on Otani's side, though he is on game point. And he's looking super strong. And the one that's been well off in terms of these drops has been mostly Otani. He's been the one cleaning up too as well. Look at that, back away. Didn't find the back fierce in play, but that's just fine. Finds the sequence right here, 6-hit combo. And applying that crouching medium punch pressure, dancing around, and you got the threat of the fireball. That's what I'm talking about, the lockdown. Sitting like Akon.
It won't let him out. Not at all. Tachikawa's still now walking out, actually. He changed the beat. He changed the station. He went from locked up to walking out, but now he's dead. That's the thing. You cannot change the dial while Otani is in the driver's seat. You are not allowed to touch the radio. You sit there, be quiet, and take your beatings to the final destination. Right now, Otani is looking for the promised land. He's looking to make it 3-0. Can he actually take it down against Tachikawa for his first W, or will the Returning Monk have something to say? Are we going to take a detour before we get to the W?
Ooh, it might be like that way. Tachikawa with the lead. There's a lot more of the crouch communication, a lot more aggression. Finds a heavy kick crush. This is big, like that B-skill corner carry. Puts the legs on him. Otani bleeding. Catches the back dash. One touch situation. I like how he's outside the sweep range. Knew it was coming through, so Otani has to activate raw. Trying to cook, landing on the fireballs. The throw. Oh no, don't let this be another one. Don't let it be another one. That bar is built up by Otani. Oh, the EX lane's coming through the fastest. On the fast life. In the fast lane.
Final round. Fight.
You know, what a famous doctor, a famous scientist, I should say, once said, once you hit 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious stuff. And, you know, either way, Tachikawa still had the V-trigger on deck. He was going to go for the activation regardless. It just so happens that Otani happened to get hit big anti-air, and that's going to make Otani go for the bait. The side switch now with the crush counter, very smart from Tachikawa. I'm liking this. Now changing the dial. He's actually stolen the wheel. But here comes Otani crush counter.
Air fireball. Gets that knockdown like that. He went for the side switch DP. So smart with it. Get that corner pressure. Air fireball too as well. Doesn't have a lot of bars to use in terms of like a CA situation, but a lot of EXs to use in terms of varying up his approach. You got to be careful with the fireballs that could come through. Tachikawa looking for that activation. Maybe on hit of a fierce. Or good confirm like this in the EX. Connects. Activation. Legs. Oh, you're dead. That's the first one for Tachikawa. Oh, the returning monk.
We've been told that exact thing. You know, he's called the Returning Monk for a very specific reason. It just might be because of this. Getting a W on the board. Let's see if Otani actually has gotten shook from that W, or excuse me, I should say from that L he just received from my man Tachikawa. What's going to happen here? Do you think he's actually going to switch over to Ryu?
I don't think he needs to. I think it's honestly, being a little bit better on the grounded approach. Aerial approach is getting got because Otani's taking disguise due to the fact that Chun-Li's light kick got nerfed. So, that anti-air approach is going to be a lot more difficult. So Tachikawa preemptively jumps at him and gets those punishes. We saw the air throw, jump heavy punch, things like that come through. I feel like if he tightens up the ground game and stays out of the aerial approach and doesn't lose so much health in these sequences in the early parts of the round, he can take Tachikawa down. Plus the nerves got to go off. I feel like if he switches to Ryu, it's just like you're giving Tachikawa a sign like, oh, I'm getting into you. Like, oh, I know what you're about. Like the nerves are starting, you're gonna give him more momentum. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Maybe Otani switches and makes the victory, but he is up one. He only needs one more. But Tachikawa, that's the returning monk, he coming back.
We'll see what happens. I think Otani, again, you made the right analysis with that. I think his Akuma did just fine. But I wouldn't be too surprised if we switched over to Ryu. I think personally, the Akuma pick is also gonna be just fine. Playing out the fireball game would be just perfect for him, just outside of certain ranges. But even so, I think his whiff punishing game has been on point. It is significantly better when it comes to whiff punishing the normals that Chun-Li possesses, in terms of the heavy normals, I should say. But Otani, I think, did just fine, other than the significant drops in execution. Some of the wild things he did, like confirming or missing the confirm on a low forward into Tatsu, doing a block string into a raw DP, which was very interesting to say the least. That's the word I'm sticking with, interesting. Call me out on it, but you already know what went down, right? You saw that uppercut. You know exactly how to call it. But as it stands right now, he is sticking with the Akuma play. So we'll see how it plays out.
Round one.
Yeah. If you keep things a little bit more solid on that side of things, Otani might take that W, might take that victory. And I like the fact that, when he is running the fireball game, it does delete that fierce off the table. Now finds to confirm the crouch medium kick to Tatsu, taking Tachikawa into the corner. I like this spacing, like right outside the fierce range, and then gets in with a crouch medium kick to threaten to. Nice and easy with it. Tachikawa has to find a way out of the corner, but getting crushed counter for his troubles. Heavy kick Tatsu puts him down to the ground. Oh, what a read on the throw.
Out of there, no stopping him from jumping out of the corner. Otani now being able to maintain. Yes, sir, the fireball's coming in full effect. And also checking with the low forwards more often than not against Tachikawa as he tries to poke in a big counter poke there from Otani. And I say it's big because now he's stuck, or at least keeps Tachikawa stuck in this corner. But for how long?
Activation will help him out with that. Flip out, gets caught with a throw. Trying to save himself. Otani losing a little bit of health. Raw activate. Not gonna try to be obvious with like a sweep or anything like that. Just wants to do it wrong.
This is kind of tough. If you're Otani, you can't afford to get hit. Yes, sir. The critical art is still on deck for Tachikawa. Any big confirm? Oh boy, still approaching with the air fireball. You see Otani buffering away. You see Tachikawa also buffering. Whew.
Any crouch medium kick will do it. Both of them fishing. Not sure who actually has more range, but I do know it's gonna be a one-touch situation. Tachikawa with a slight lead in health too. Otani spinning the bar. I kind of agree. Not going to be too obvious the crouch medium kick, but now he's already used 2 bars. He's out of there, finds a punch. Again, the light confirmed Tatsu. Back away, Otani, run. The dash up. He does just dash up and goes for the throw. That's so smart. Oh, you think I'm backing away? I'm coming through the play. Otani on set point. Oh, you wrong for that one, Otani. You foul.
Dirty man. You gave him the good old U-turn. You thought you were getting to Disneyland on my account? Hell no, you gotta earn it. That's the classic. He's like, oh, we're going to Disney World. No, you're taking him to the dentist.
Painful memories.
Oh,
see, Tachikawa can right this wrong.
Ooh. So this is great. Now looking for Otani. Already locking Tachikawa in the corner forward. Don't apply even more pressure. The big interruption off the crouching light kick. And now Tachikawa fighting back. Still looking for an opening against Otani. The jump in does not get cleared for takeoff. Critical art on deck as well. Opts not to spend it. He does get the anti-air. Still one confirm. Will do it all. Can Tachikawa survive? Looking for an activation himself. Also, he needs to get it down. He needs to get a big confirm.
He needs it. I mean, Tachikawa has that bar to make that return, but Otani just needs one touch to steal it. And could use a bar any sort of way. We talked about how Akuma is the toolkit of Street Fighter V. So many ways to play, so many things you got to worry about for Tachikawa. You don't have the easy anti-air off the light anymore. You got to work, but opens him up wrong. He stopped blocking. It gets picked up, and that'll be the win for Tachikawa. What was Otani doing? I wonder to stop blocking that situation.
I'm kind of curious myself, yeah, but Tachikawa still punching it out. Big interruption against the red fireball. Back throw now, Otani catching the missed timings of Tachikawa, not getting a lot of meaties. The back veer still catching the V-skill. He tried to jump back to back. That's the sweep he wanted last time.
What's the V-skill on him? Jump EX Fireball, the TK edition. So good blocks from Tachikawa. He's caught up in the corner still. He's to find a way out. A crush would be great, or crouch meter kick in the legs. Get some distance, so Oki, but that's fine. Throw puts him back in the corner though. Cross cut with the back fierce back brainless of Akuma. In that, no! The fadeaway and play the EX to do with Otani, getting his first victory, taking down Tachikawa. You know he's gonna be salty when they meet up again. But that is Otani for the win.
He's not looking like a regular value menu item. He's looking like a Big Mac, getting the W for his team. The first W for himself as well. 3 points for Shinobiism Gaming, solidifying their spot further into the playoffs within 2nd and 5th place. I do like that a lot from the young man. You can see how ecstatic Higuchi is, saying, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing him continue the streak, and he came through in full force. 3-1 against Tachikawa. The returning monk not living up to his name, at least in today's episode. I gotta say, man, overall, Tachikawa looked like he was starting to get it together, but significant drops on both ends, man. Sometimes it happens to the best of us. Otani coming out the victor. There only could have been one victor in terms of between these two players, right? Again, both having a losing record. Significant W for Otani, huge confidence booster, but it's not going to be the last we see of Tachikawa. In fact, let's take a look at the stats so far. Otani doing pretty well for himself, but moving on with Tachikawa himself. Yeah, 6 out of 12, 50%, and 2 out of 2 in terms of wake up EX SBK, not bad.
Okay. On the side, we saw Otani kind of lacking a little bit with the 2-4 right there on the wake up EXTPs that they get him got. But 5-8 in terms of anti-airs, not too bad on his side, but actually got him the victory towards the end. Doubling down with the back fierce, and he went back to Akuma, went back to the darkness to get the job done. And I like that. I like that he, you know, was kind of working with the Ryu, saw it didn't fit, and then went back to Akuma and said, this is the way to do it. Found his first win. Again, Tachikawa, the only person in the league so far that hasn't found a victory, has gotten close in some sequences, some chances, but didn't find a win. And another win on the side of Shinobiism for their team in totality. We're going to have the home interview come up here in a second, but if you Team Detonation, again, this was supposed to be a day of retribution. Not for them today. Not for them, unfortunately, not able to find a win, not able to nab any points in terms of like a substantial amount of points or find a big victory, and another loss against the same team that we saw before.
Right. Which is going to be pretty significant going forward, right? On top of what's happening today, there's only about, 8 more days left. Capcom Detonation not being able to get those points today is going to hurt them even more so tomorrow. Again, they're going to be playing off against Sai Shunkan Seoul Kumamoto on Wednesday. Just to kind of remind you folks at home, you guys may have missed the schedule, but usually we would do, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. This week in particular, as we get the interviews going, it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Just to remind you folks at home, there's a slight change up in the schedule, but at least for some of you stateside, you'll be getting some Street Fighter League Japan over Thanksgiving Day in the morning if you're about that life. So as we are going into these interviews, Otani actually says it was a long journey to score that first win, and he practiced a lot against Fujimura's Chun-Li. So he's absolutely grateful that the practice came in and paid in full. He put off that work and made it happen today. I do appreciate that from Otani, paying tribute, paying some gratitude actually towards his teammate Fujimura. And you got to think, right? Fujimura not getting the W today, getting fully whopped by John Takeuchi. He's got to feel pretty good about himself, making sure that Otani was at least prepared for his matchup as Chun-Li.
Mochi says that he knows Tachikawa and Otani probably want to play each other today. Otani was feeling confident, even if it was an anchor match. So he set him up knowing that his teammate would do the duty. And I like that they kind of set this up for like this like sick match. Like they two want to play each other. They want to get their win. They thought, oh, I got to do it. I got to beat my friend out here. I got to get that first win. It's got to be them. So they kind of went in, both teams knowing like I got to put them up for the anchor match. This is what it's going to be the bout. But again, as you said, I like the fact that he practiced for this match. I like the fact that he went back to Akuma and stayed with that choice of Akuma. Took some time, went back to the lounge and said, okay, what do I need to do to get that victory? Let's EXTPs. There we go. Let me get my win. Again, shout out to Otani getting his first victory, getting his first win. Momochi says they're temporarily second place with this and they want to keep it or go higher. You definitely want to go higher. You want to be in that first place spot to stay solid. Y'all can also stay solid by picking up Street Fighter 5 on sale right now on the PlayStation Networks. Luke is coming through real soon. We're going to have an announcement this week, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that character.
And currently with the Street Fighter V sale, it's going on right now for PlayStation 4. The current roster of seasons 1 through 4 is now available for a free trial. Be sure to log on your PlayStation 4 on PSN in general to take advantage of this very limited time offer with the Street Fighter V Champion Edition trial. Again, seasons 1 through 4, all of these characters currently available for you to try out and test for yourself to see who you would like to play in Street Fighter V. That pretty much wraps up our first game. Again, in case you missed it, we highly encourage you guys to check out the VOD. It was Shinobiism Gaming going up against Camouflage Detonation, and in fact, Shinobiism happened to get the W yet again. They previously swept Camouflage Detonation 4-0, but this time around, it was just slightly different as John Takeuchi fully swept Fujimura 2 games straight. As you guys have been tuning in, this is the official English broadcast stream. Myself and St. Cole have been throwing it down for the entirety of November, actually. So we do appreciate you guys coming in through hot and heavy every single morning as we get ourselves ready for the next match. After this break, when we return with Street Fighter League Pro-JP, we will have Good 8 Squad face off against Saishunkan Sol Kumamoto immediately after this break. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Street Fighter League. Coming in hot, back into the matches here for Street Fighter League. It's gonna be Sai Shunkan Soul Kumamoto coming in as the Violence Emperor prepares his squad. Nemo leading the pack. Will he use Gil? Will he use Urien? One thing's for sure, the Violence Clerk is going to be using that Urien instead, no matter what the situation. And speaking of the situation, look at the wild man Nishikin, who always brings the dangerous beast to play, but not as dangerous as the world president, the young president, that is Yanai. This entire squad has been so... It's been kind of back and forth with a lot of their performances, but you never know who's going to step up to the plate in each one of the games. Oh my god, Nemo is looking... He's mocking Kichipamu.
Oh, who is coming up on good A squad with the Hiroshima brother himself, Gachikun. That's a Capcom Cup champion right there. Right behind him is an Evo champion, the next generation, leading the charge, Kawano, with that sick Colleen play right there. Behind that is the unshakable boxer, Pugera, putting this character on the map, being an absolute threat. And last but not least, the massive pad grappler himself, Kichipamu, who Nemo was mocking. But I don't know if you want to mock a team like this. They are at the top spot. They're in the lead. They are above and beyond many of the teams out here. And honestly, I feel like people didn't place in the runnings when things had started, when they saw the team, listings, but they have been putting in the work, and they are situated to take that first place spot in before the playoffs happen. So we're going to wait. Team roster's coming up soon, but what do you think about this match coming up?
I'm very curious to see how Good 8 Squad is going to play against the Seoul team. Right, they did break off 2-2. We saw Gachikun actually clutching it out in the anchor match against Shuto, but Nishikin, for his current record, he happened to get a W against one of the best teams, right? Kichipamu falling short, as well as Pugera falling short, surprisingly. So I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to play out this time around. Considering Good 8 Squad being at the very top, you really expect them to always come out. Or actually, yeah, that was Pugera, right? Yeah, Pugera fell short, Kichipamu fell short, but Gachikun ended up clutching out. I'm curious to see what the away roster is going to be like. We have not seen Nemo actually put himself on the bench. Rather, he put the clerk on the bench. He gave him some PTO, and it's like, the boss came in, back from vacation. It's time for the big boss Urien to come into play. But not without his trusty bodyguards, right? His trusty sidekick, Nishikin, with Blanca, as well as his advisor, his political advisor, with Yanai as G.
Nishikin coming off the bench for a bit. Haven't seen him work. It's been difficult for him. That Blanca pick not always working out, not always able to, check the characters. We're going to be checking out here what Good 8 Squad sends up. Good 8 Squad has a lot of range of characters. We've seen the Conlene, the Rashid, the Geef, and the Boxer. All those can be fitted well against the matchups that we saw before. And again, being in a draw situation last time means that both teams are so hungry to, get that W this time, to stay solid. But even more so, I feel like on the side of Seoul, because they are the ones at the bottom. They are on the brink of being knocked out of this Street Fighter League Japan stuff, and they got to stay solid. They really got to, be able to pull themselves up. It's ride or die even more so right now.
You're absolutely right. Despite being 8 days left in regulation play, I do believe, Good 8 Squad being at the top of the charts is pretty intimidating. A lot of the cats are gunning for that position between 2nd and 5th, but obviously you'd want to be in first just because the seeding is absolutely better. You want to be in that grand final spot happening towards the end of January 2022. As it stands right now, what should be important, what should be the focus, is whether or not Seoul can get these points against the #1 team. They have to be above that red line, breaking through to 5th place if they want to make it through to the next phase of the game, and that is the playoffs, which happens early January. So again, we've seen these two different circumstances and what you would need to do. As it stands right now, Pugera is coming up to the plate to face off against Nishikin, who's only had 1 point so far in the 6th game that he's played, or at least 1 W, I should say. And you see that crown that says 3rd from the side of Pugera. That's right, he's accumulated 10 points for his team. 6 games he's won out of 8. And we see how much EX meter is actually being used throughout all of his matches. 5 points, an average per round. You see the critical art also coming in not as hot, but you can see how often he spent that EX gauge as well. Same similar story actually from the side of Nishikin, still well within the 5 range.
Yeah, but low on the side of points. Nishikin's side only has 1 win on his side. Out of 6 times that he's been put up in position, he's played 15 rounds in totality. Let's see if he can take Pugera down. This is going to be a difficult match. I feel like I believe that Boxer has a good way to deal with the rainbow balls and the normal Blanca rolls and things like that. He's got the easy anti with the medium punch too as well, and apply the pressure with the V skill. And this is one of those matches where I don't think KKB really matters that much. You obviously can get the corner carry extensions, but you can also do that with V skill too. So you can go back to the tried and true. Pugera can put on the pressure in terms of plus frames with the V skill too. He's got his work cut out for him.
Right. No, absolutely. I think, you know, Nishikin has been trying to make it work out with Blanca. There have been a couple of close encounters he's had in the wild, almost getting the W. But one thing's for certain, I think he's going to have a very challenging time against someone like Pugera. Again, being 3rd in the current roster in terms of how many points he's accumulated, just under both Dogura and Tokido, who are both tied at first with 11 points under their belt. But as we prepare ourselves for the matchup, it's going to be Pugera rocking that Balrog versus Nishikin and that Blanca. And although we don't have the cameras up quite yet for the Good 8 squad, we do have the sound coming in. And of course, the topic for today's teams, or like, sorry, for today's episode for the teams is if they had any remarks towards the commentators as well as the hosts / MCs, what would it be? And so we are getting that answer little by little as Hamiko, I feel like, has already heard the responses from somebody and is already saying his piece at least. And he's got a, man, I'm going to speak for both of us on this one, St. Cola. That blazer that Hamiko has is always sick to look at.
You ain't lying, dog. Let me find out where he shot. Let me try to come through, you know what I'm saying? It says that Gachikun and Kichiwama are telling Hamiko that he's bored with being called an anaconda, suggesting to go with something shorter. Okay.
I want to know what that inside joke is, because the self-proclaimed anaconda coming in from Gachikun, that is his own thing, I feel like. But I really need to see the backstory on that one. But Hamiko actually replied that he's not sure why he's being called Anaconda either. Maybe it's something about good leadership. As sarcastic as that can be, I will say that Gachikun being the leader for the team, it makes sense, right? As one of the Capcom Cup winners. So Hamiko, although he might be a little sarcastic on that one, I think Gachikun does a great job as being the leader for Good 8 Squad.
Oh, for sure. You're a Capcom Cup champion, and him as a player is really good at dissecting what he needs to do for the next match. Oh, I've lost to this, I'm going to have something ready for it. So you can impart that kind of knowledge and that capability to the other players too as well. And that might help in this match. So they probably see Nishikin, dealing with Blanca, with this kind of character that's really rare. They probably have a game plan ready, prepared. Nishikin, though, has been on the bench for a while. I also feel like that's been his training. Like, he's been in the back training, getting ready, prepared, and now it's his time to shine. He needs another victory. Only got one on the board, needs another one to get that dub, try to get that win instead of a draw for his team. Immediate interruption on the V-skill. I like that for Nishikin, not letting that V-skill go for free.
And the last time they encountered each other, Nishikin actually did pretty well. He faced off against Kichipamu, who's actually on the bench for this matchup, at least the run back between the two teams. Nishikin actually took it down 2 games straight. Can he do it against Pugera? Does get the opener off the low, big tech, and now an even more important back throw coming from the side of Pugera. Just hopping out of harm's way is Nishikin, now in full control, still trying to apply pressure.
Too far out for the upper. That's the usual anti-air from Pugera. Really on point in terms of the upper anti-airs compared to other boxes I would watch. But too far out for it still. He is out of the corner. That's what we want to do. There's the anti-air right there and runs the EX dash straight right to the face. EX stops him. Oh my God, my man was preempted with it, prepared. His activation from Nishikin. Can he make the comeback? The return over seat.
Oh my God, he held the tap!
Vicious.
Oh Jesus, he's still alive. He's still alive, but not for long, Pugera. You already knew. He was waiting for his opportunity to tap, and Nishikin felt the final bell. Despite it being only the first round, he definitely got shook off that tap.
Ding, 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 ding. It's over. It's over. The ref just like, cut it down. Pugera getting into him again, that B skill. He's trying to get his knockdowns a lot more just so he can get the B skill. He can't do it raw in the neutral as we saw before. And again, the upper not coming through against the EX ball right there, Rainbow ball, I should say. Puts the knees on him. Good challenge though from Pugera. Nishkin always trying to save that distance to stop the B skill, but it don't matter. The neutral just ruled by box. Ooh.
What a jump back jab too, just in case. Nishikin was trying to get the air approach multiple times now. Actually with the V-skill, oh boy. Or not the V-skill, excuse me, the command hop.
It's a block a bite on him with the throw. Like that slight walk under. Gets a side switch to fade away. Nishkin needs to find some more damage though. Give me a pocket, so I'm gonna check around your destiny to find something. A good hit would definitely put you in position to equalize things out. He's got the V trigger too. Wait for the right time to pop.
Oh, that would have been so dangerous. I like that from Nishikin, getting the full conversion. Actually, a single stray hit coming in from the V trigger 2 was all he needed to continue the combo. But man, that was actually pretty scary for Nishikin, seeing that tap just fly by him like that.
Could have been lights out real quick with it. But I like Nishikin going back to V trigger 2. V trigger 1 didn't seem like it was doing the damage, but you really have to worry about the mix-ups that come from this character. And so it makes you save your V bar. It makes you like have to deliberate on how you want to, if you want to spend V bar to activate, or if you want to V reversal. While you're doing that, Nishikin just comes through and puts the mix on you. EX anti with the medium right there. Able to apply the pressure too far out for the upper combo. Unfortunate, but this could all turn Boxer's way with a few hits to the face.
No, you're not kidding. Yo, Pugera actually has full critical art on deck. If he gets a single punish, best believe he's going to go into the critical art. But speaking of punishes, Nishikin actually got the throw punish.
No!
My
the fade
God.
through from Nishkin. Lucky boy. Not so lucky boy. Upper spinning all that bar. Didn't have the super to seal it or the EX bar to seal it, but that one touch will. How are you going to get so to fade through the super and not be able to clean it up? Unfortunate for Nishkin. But that's a win for Pugera. Vicious. That's heartbreaking.
He went for a reversal, Sankola. He went for some sort of reversal, but Nishikin, oh man. I can't even imagine what the reversal was without bar. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if it was like a slight error on his behalf, but he went for something gutsy, and Pugera just happened to wash him with that meaty.
Being able to stay solid in these scramble situations has definitely led Pugera to this game point right here, and also has led him to be just a strong competitor in general. I feel like if you're a boxer, you're never out of it. You know that you can do the damage if need be. Nishkin with the jump ins. I do like, on the other hand, Nishkin being a lot more aggressive in the neutral. We've seen him kind of be a little bit more slow paced, and that hasn't really landed him W's. This may be the determiner to stay solid. This is what I'm talking about. Bust out.
Oh yes, punish on the screw upper. Here it comes. Nishikin, man, he's all over him. Does get the stun, building a little bit of meter for himself. The back throw. Oh, actually, no, just forward throw. I thought he was going to go for the back throw for the meter gain, but I guess forward throw is going to be just enough. Nishikin off to a great start in game 2.
A lot more pressure, a lot more walk down. Scooped him right underneath like a sandcastle. Nishkin trying to use more of those hops to come through with the V skill. It baits out the upper two, gets a full punish. This walker ball's all dang day. Good interruption. Nishkin in play. Side switch. Pugera got a defense.
Oh boy.
It's looking like all offense for Nishkin.
Yeah, more than enough. After the rainbow ball still gets the continuation. Nishikin getting 2 rounds straight against Pugera. A huge changeup from the Wild Beast. I wonder what it's been like, what has actually been working from the side of Nishikin. There have been a handful of throw baits that have caught Pugera off guard, but it can't be just that. I feel like there's just been a different story from Nishikin. I gotta look carefully at the VODs again, because most of the time I've just seen back-to-back throw baits, but it can't be that easy. There's no way. Pugera has been falling for a lot of these traps from Nishikin. There were a handful of instances where I did see a meaty stand heavy punch come out to catch a late button from Pugera. So maybe the timing from Nishikin has been throwing Pugera off guard, at least in terms of the meaties that Nishikin has been throwing out there.
I do like what he's doing to play against Pugera's tendencies to go for the upper. We've seen the upper anti-air quite a bit. We also saw it catch him trying to leave the corner. But I like that Nishikin is doing something different with his aerial approach. He'll use the EX Rainbow Ball to come through and catch on a different side or different approach. Like the way that he's standing makes it really hard to find the uppers perfectly, and that's also landed some damage and also continue that pressure, right? You get the hit, you have the charge behind it, you find a full conversion, you get the damage on the deck, and you roll with that momentum. That's also been how he's been able to catch Pugera off guard, and now we're at the final game. Let's see what happens here. Nishikin just has to stay with that aggression. Pugera has to give a little bit more defense on the deck.
Yeah, so far Nishikin trying to play that patience game hasn't been working out just yet. Pugera on the offensive now, but once he loses momentum off the block strike, he backs away, but still finding just the right space to catch all of these counter hits. Man, it's rough. It's looking so rough for Nishikin. When he thought he could swing, absolutely cannot. Pugera looking at match point now.
Try to do the cower crouch, immediately got checked. Nishikin, I like Pugera stay a little bit closer. I feel like he's maybe even more mid-range with it, but now he's up close in front of that face like he can see face. Interruption. I like that. B skill usage and finds the up ball too. Trying to apply that pressure, but Pugera staying close range with it. Maybe trying to interrupt. I was going to say the cower crouch, but there's a punish on the bad straight. A little crooked right there.
Man, how many crouching medium punches is Nishikin gonna take? He hasn't even tried to back out of the range. And I like that from Pugera, meeting him to the skies, air to air. But now, a lot of the times, okay, Nishikin actually finds the right angle to jump in.
Side switch with it from the back door. Time to open up. Nishikin only that one touch situation. The back jab. But we know Boxer can come back. All it takes is a few hits to do it with this character. First on the tab, activation off of that. The lights out. Net time.
Oh.
You did it, Raw! You're about to fall!
Why? Why from Nishikin, but still the raw activation, and you know, that trade is actually mad. No trade at all, excuse me. Nishikin catching Pugera with the Blanca ball. I gotta say, that raw activation was so sus. I was nervous for him. Like, why?
Why? Like the upper though. Probably get fun around right here. See what goes down, puts the V skill straight on him and the EX right behind it. EX DP out of there. EX Bonga ball, I should say. Get some distance, but interruption with the medium punch on the hop too as well. Crouch media kick, finds a jump in. These hops have been working out. These V skill hops have been working out for Nishikin pretty well in some of these situations. As soon as I say that, commentator's curse, I'm so sorry.
Hey, don't apologize to me. Nishikin is going to be doing just fine up until the point of the tap, and that's going to be a Pugera getting the full conversion. He meant it when he said sorry, I promise, but Nishikin falling just short, and you know what? It's for a very good reason. It's because of that dang tap. That tap that is always being held by Pugera. Even Hamako has a slight smile on his face. It's like, man, how did you not see that coming? How did you not see it coming?
The tap is the tail of the tapes. We see the tap come through, miss a few times, but again, Pugera's smart enough to let that be his win. I feel like if you miss something or something, you know, has a funky interaction, you might subconsciously take it off the table like, oh, it didn't work. Maybe I should do it for a while. But Pugera brings it back and takes it from the precipice of defeat. Almost lost to Nishikin. I got to give them a lot of credit for being able to come back and work back towards that victory and really put Pugera on the back foot and make them switch up their style, switch up where they were standing to find the anti-airs, and not go for the uppers every single time. We saw the jump backs, the fadeaways, the medium punch on the ground, and the uppers had to be damn near perfect. Also, the blocks and V-trigger were great too for Pugera, but that's Pugera coming through though. Dang, 14 to 22 in terms of anti-airs of 63% on the side of Nishikin, none on his side. One whip DP on the side of Pugera. I wonder if that was the EX upper that got stuffed on the side of Pugera for his boxer. We'll see Nishikin's in a second. But again, the baits out were really good for Nishikin for the blocker side of things. I like that was smart. 2 to 3. So only one of them got punished.
I kind of want to see a little bit of that frame data there, at least some of the properties on the EX upper coming in from the side of Pugera. Let me check that real quick. Now I'm kind of curious because I saw the 0-1. I'm like, wait a minute. There's no way. There's no way that's a thing. Am I wrong? All right, we'll talk about that later. Yanai coming up with G.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Colleen or from Kawano, obviously, or will it be Gachikun? Will Gachikun use his experience as a veteran in the tour, or excuse me, in the Capcom Pro Tour, to face off against Nemo? Or will he actually go for the matchup statistic and face off against Yanai's G? I think I think Gachikun would want to put himself up next, in my opinion.
I think Kawano can take down a. You've seen that time and time again, even if it's Nemos. You know, or at least fight up against a Urian. But I do agree. I think if you're trying to fight G, I think Rashid's definitely the pick. Gachikun asking if it's all right for him to take the next match, just as you call. You know, Rashid on paper does very well against G. In fact, it's one of G's worst matchups. Hard for him to get going. Doesn't have a 3-frame or reversal. And then you have to spin that V-bar to try to think if you want to get that win in terms of V-trigger, or if you can V-reversal, but then you don't get triggered till later on. Someone even as studious and study as Yanai gonna have to deliberate about those things against the Capcom Cup champion right here is gonna be real difficult. And we see on the side of Gachikun, 7 points. These guys game for his team, 5 to 9 wins. On Yanai's side, even more impressive, 4 points, but 4 to 5 wins on the side of the presidential powerhouse that is Yanai. A lot of EX bar being used by the man's that is Gachikun right here. 2.89 right there. And CA, going back to that, we'll go back to that in a second. But CA, 0.25% EX bar, 3.42%. And he's played a total of 12 rounds with Sada Yanai. He's been putting in work. Big fan favorite been seeing out here. Every time this is over, I used to go to Yanai stream and check him out. Everyone's like cheering for his support, saying, great job, Yanai, great job. And he's like going back over the matches, not even over his, but other people's matches too as well on his team.
Right. And so you're looking at the next matchup coming in hot now between Yanai and Gachikun. Just a little fun fact right now. Again, Gachikun is currently on a 3-game losing streak, as we were talking about. He's thinking to himself, as the leader, putting himself in this position, he's thinking, I got to get this W. It looks like a huge sign of weakness as the leader if I continue this losing streak. But before we get into that matchup and seeing how we do, I do want to kind of touch up on that Balrog statistic again. 0 out of 1 in terms of invincible reversals. It was the critical art that was the culprit. It was the critical art in the library with the dagger. That was what was used for the invincible reversal statistic. Now, with the actual away team trivia coming through, during the interview earlier today, Komufa Detonation was around also. Nemo and Izan actually got into it a little bit, but they happened to interact. They were being very, very good friends, as always, right? When it comes to those two together, they turn into a couple. I think there's just something about those two and their energy, and everybody notices it in the room, no matter where they're at. And that's what at least what the interviewer is highlighting between those two individuals. They didn't even get their interview question going. They were just talking about Nemo and Itazan being good friends, quote unquote.
I always love their interaction. I love the interaction between top players. They've got like a rivalry and the consistency. If you guys watch FGC Translated, you see a lot of Nemo's words that he has for Itazan throughout. But again, good friends is always that rivalry, always keep them solid. Like, you want to lose to this other person. We also saw them play against each other previously in the Street Fighter League Japan. Tagaya-san, the interview has followed every player in the league, but Shuto thought he wasn't being followed, but he was, so he quickly followed back. So that's great, like that the interviewers are like looking at the players and like seeing what they're doing, because they're always streaming stuff like that. They're always on Million Dollar Twitch or whatever, or YouTube or whatever. So it's good to keep track of what they're doing. And Shuto's like, let me follow you back. Let me follow you back. Social media, serious business out here. Yanai says he wants to play a couple rounds with Hamiko-san. Do you know who Hamiko-san plays at all?
He's played a variety of characters, but as of late, I actually haven't seen a CFN. He is a very high-ranking player. I was going to say high-ranking official. He's a very high-ranking player, but I'd have to check out his CFN. I know who Aru's been playing. Aru's been playing Zeku a lot on his stream, but I haven't seen Hameko. I will be honest. Maybe I'll look at it right now. I'm going to check it out. Hameko SF5. I'm going to Google this right now. Who has he been playing? He's been playing Gil when he first came, or when he showed up to the scene. But as of late, I got to check out who he's been playing. But we'll get into that some other time. Maybe chat can fill us in. As it is right now, Gachikun going up against Yanai.
He shifts away from danger. That crouching light could be explosive. Explosion on the fingertips. Try to run the command grab, no go, back throw. Immediate interruption, that could have been so much more, but still finds the throw, trying to put this character in the corner and make him feel the oppression that Rashid's have put G players through time and time again.
Oh, it's gonna be huge, a good amount of damage, and he's gonna get the carry. Doesn't even have to spend any of his trigger, which is absolutely important. And again, just swinging away. That's what we talked about, the importance of that trigger. Back throw now. Spend it, no, there it is, yeah, applying extra pressure. Yanai in deep trouble. Critical art might be a factor for Chip. Oh,
yeah, definitely go for it.
Exactly what he was looking for. Hook, line, and sinker. That's actually a checkmate scenario no matter what for Gachikun getting the chip. Well, you know, could have been chip, I should say. Just stopping Yanai straight up from activating.
I like that because you don't want G to come through with that base trigger. Super deadly and dangerous, and you're gonna get that bar back around 2 or 3 if need be. And we've already seen this character have so many tools against G. Look at that 7 frame, so far out to deal with. 4G, I wonder if Crouching Light will work with Speed of Crouching Light. There it is, gets a V-skill extension. A little bit of Oki in the dash up too. V-reversal, offensive to keep Rashid locked up in the corner, trying to find the chase down. Nothing off that medium though, didn't get the crouch arena kick too far out for it. We'll find it off the Eagle Spike right there. And this pressure, this is what Rashid's known for.
Yeah, and I do like an interruption there from Yanai, just stopping with his reactions against the tornado, the whirlwind shot, I should say. But man, being a low crusher and being able to activate, it's so important. That standing roundhouse meant the world for Gachikun for this particular round. The EX smash over, activation into trigger, but you cannot stop the fierce spinning mixer as an anti-air. Gachikun getting game 1 pretty convincingly 2 rounds straight.
Put him in the mix, and that was it. Gachikun is almost in a similar, that would have been a similar situation with the activation. That would have been a wrap, just like that. Gachikun displaying what you, I feel like if y'all don't know how to, if you're a Rashid player, like, man, how do I fight G? What do I need to do? You look at this match and you see the dive kicks coming through against the anti-airs from G, which have been slowed down with the V-scale too as well, the back four fierce, or back fierce, I should say, from G. Also not good enough against the dive kicks and jump ins. The corner pressure, and you don't really have to spin bar in too many situations, so you can save it for the super. And you see Gachikun just applying all that pressure. Yanai falling to it and taking a second to breathe. Also, shout out to the chat. They said that Hamiko plays G. He's a G player. So shout out to all y'all coming through in the chat. Let us know what to do. We appreciate you because this is live and I can see all of you.
So yeah, that's the biggest important, or one of the biggest things in this matchup between Gachikun and Yanai is that Yanai is being a little outclassed in terms of playing the neutral. I think Gachikun, again, getting away with a lot of the crouching heavy punches against Yanai has been the determining factor. But knowing how Yanai has adapted to the majority of the players here in the league, oh, that would have been so great if you got the command grab raw. Not straying from the point though, long story short, Gachikun outplaying Yanai in neutral.
Yeah, I mean, he's been going for that command grab on these minor situations and they haven't worked out too well. And he's just staying outside the distance with the crouch fierce. He's getting pieced up. He is getting knotted up in the corner. Anti right there, try to side switch, dash up low, creases up the Yeezys, take him to the other side of the screen. Now, remember, V-Trigger 1, a lot less V-Bar usage in this season, unless you're in Presidentiality 2 or 3. So it's already off the table.
Oh, this is huge. The ambiguous cross. Yanai still living. That would have been huge if you actually got the jump in, but still. The big opportunity there for Gachikun. Now looking at match point. We just got breaking news that the last few matches Hamiko played, he was using Akira. In fact, he played yesterday using that character, so just a little bit of an update for those of you in the chat. As it stands right now, Gachikun again flailing away with that stand medium kick. Again, just out poking Yanai. Majority of these rounds, we can see the experience being put in play.
So up in the corner. Fierce EX. Yeah, get that Oki going with that B skill. Build up that ball like Build the Bear, but the challenge though from Gachikun on that dash up situation. So aggressive. He's setting himself up for success. Few more sequences and that'll seal it. You know, Gachikun wants to take him to the corner. Easy JB right there with the dive kick and the throw. One touch situation. The jump in, that'll be the win against the V-Ship. He's just gonna die tired. Gachikun with a 2-0 sweep off the feet. Unfortunate for Yanai. Just a bad matchup and just being outclassed and outplayed against the Capcom Cup champion right there.
This is the kind of matchup I was looking forward to. More particularly putting Yanai under a microscope. I wanted to know how we would do against a caliber player like Gachikun. We could see him kind of faltering in the neutral, kind of faltering in some of the spaces he wants to play at. We talked about how good G's bufferable normals really are, but against someone like Gachikun who fully understands it, it did not play out the way he wanted. You could see him thinking about the situation in general. The most he's been in that kind of mode, really, after that W, or actually after that L. But Gachikun, pretty much on point, 4 for 4 in terms of anti-air, doing absolutely well for himself 2 games straight against the young man Yanai.
Yeah, the crouching medium punches came through against the splash. It's such a big deal for G to come through in terms of the cross-up. Only half in terms of the side of G and Yanai, which is difficult already. You're dealing with a dive kick, jump in, jump medium kick, jump heavy kick, jump fierce, jump ins all dang day. And to come and play with the back fierce doesn't always work out with a B skill. So just as we said before, we saw Yanai take down Moke. We saw the Rashid and play being taken down, but there weren't any opportunities. Moke had presented opportunities and allowed Yanai to capitalize. Just no go from someone as solid like Gachikun. Now it all comes down to the anchor match. Kawano going up against the Violence Emperor. And I gotta give y'all a little bit of trivia real quick. I was watching FGC translated, and it was Nemo lamenting the fact that he has to use Urien and stay solid with the character because he wants to put time in the Gil. But he's like, I just can't. Like, even though he had that victory against Dogra, he's like, it's so difficult with this character. The normals aren't there. So probably, and that's why we see the Urien pick on the side of Nemo.
Right. Yeah, that does make sense. We've seen how close of an encounter it was for Nemo using that Urien the last time we saw him over in the league playing up against Dogra in a very tricky fashion too, baiting out that cryokinesis with the parry into the critical art. That got clipped at least 1,000,000 times over, not only by Hi-Fi but everybody tuning in from Japan as well as stateside or any of our international audience. That matchup was mad sick. If I could really be blunt about it, I highly encourage you guys to check out the VOD. But as it stands right now, 5 out of 8 for the games he's played, 8 points total accumulated with a mix of both Urien and Gil. We see where his EX meter usage has been put to or been utilized for. But as it stands right now, Kawano coming in hot as well. This is the matchup that I've been looking forward to. I want to see what happens between someone like Kawano, who is also one of the up-and-coming new generation of players these last couple of years, and Nemo being a powerhouse no matter what fighting game he touches.
Wow, Kawano acknowledges that Nemo's a powerful player. He's got to work hard to earn this win. I know he meant that in an honest fashion, but it's got to be rough that you're a longtime player. You've been in the scene for a bit. You've been playing various games. You've been making headway as Nemo, and someone that's a young gun says, "I acknowledge you. I guess you're on my league." But then again, Kawano is an evil champion. Let's see how we'll do out here. Best of 5, first of 3 situation as an anchor match. Kawano versus Nemo. Let's get it.
Yeah, Kawano did happen to take down the rest of the opposition for that qualifier back at EVO Online. Actually, not back in, it was this year. But anyways, back throw here. Coming in against Nemo, and what a time to blow through that block string, but still make a deal with this bad man. We see the trigger up on deck. A big whip punish on the side of Kawano. I like that. My voice got real high for that one.
It's because you're excited. I'm excited too about this action. I'm about to be real excited once one of these triggers are popped because it's gonna be real deadly. You can Kawano fish with that crouching medium kick or that fierce coming through. EX activation. Here we go. Even better this season. Still has another mirror. So buy one, get one free. Don't be fooled. Off the sweep. Did the close mirror. But Kawano not biting on too much.
And I will say that was super smart there from Kawano earlier to use that V-shift, but now he has himself back into this predicament. Can he utilize the trigger for the final blow, or will Nemo get at least a medium touch? And it is the medium touch, the crouching medium kick to check the movement.
Nemo, man, they were like hairs away from hitting each other. But the hit confirm comes through for Kawano, puts him in the corner, using that bar for that corner send. In the walk up, pressure off the fireball, dash up, put him in a coffin with the throw. trying to open up. I like the distance that Kawano, he knows where he can stand at to apply that pressure with the hands. If they don't reach, no big deal. Won't get got. Stun rising. Poking away. Dash up throw. One more touch. Baits it out.
Boy.
Reel it in. On the other end is Nemo.
Reel it in. He's looking for the bag. Now bring it in. Getting a full-on punish. Baiting Nemo into using that EX headbutt. Kawano looking mighty clean. And I gotta say, the quite the opposite coming in from Nemo, doing the dirty work. EX tackle in neutral, why not?
No neutral November out here. It's still going on. We still got a few more days. But that's one of those things we want to catch someone unawares and awake to see what they're doing. Kawano down backing quite a bit. Gets hit with a buffer into the EX. Crush interruption. You want to make a deal with me? I'm trying to make a deal with you. How you gonna walk out of the store and get a deal done on your side? Oh, EX headbutt though. Nemo's got the lead. V-trigger on the line though from Kawano. Could fade through some of these fireballs. You gotta be careful with these sequences if you're Nemo.
We can see it right now. Nemo's still plotting away. He tried to counter it. Kawano actually got clipped. Counter hit against the chariot tackle. Does get a whip punish with a short. Ugh. Parabellum now double time into the corner. What's Nemo gonna do? He's gonna have to hold that. Here comes the icicle. A lot of plus frames behind the snow.
Nemo backing away. He's in there, but now he's got activation. This corner pressure is going to be real deadly. Locked it down with the... Yeah, he backed away from the block, found the punish. Nemo's so smart with it. He was so smart to back away, find the block, knew it was going to be a bait out, and release the crouch fierce. Nemo with the first win.
Yeah, there was a really unfortunate circumstance there from Kawano, pretty much trying to take a guess with the ice javelin past the mirror, using the projectile invulnerability, but still getting punished completely for it by Nemo. Just not the right not the right timing to do so. But he had his heart in the right place. He had the right idea.
Yeah, it's wrong execution. Sometimes it just be like that. That's one of those things that only works once. You feel like Kawano's gonna put that in the database, and so all right, dog, I'm gonna download you. Out of there with the medium knees, with if you please. But here's the punish from Kawano to have the bar to get that full amount of stun, and Nemo trying to find that return. I like that. I feel like you see a lot of people leave the corner for free with that medium knees, and the fierce coming through. The side switch has come through for Nemo's side. He's got activation.
It's a matter of how he's gonna use it. It happens to be off the coral kick. Still in full defense. Kawano now fighting back. We have one other mirror. It is the close mirror. Man, the defense, the active defense, I could say, from Kawano has been spectacular.
He's been really good about dealing with the crouching medium punches, finding whip punches, things like that. Corner carry for the positioning. Now he's got the bar. The V-trigger locked and has the extensions off these medium punches and fierce buttons. You have to be super careful what you do if you're Nemo. You might get got.
Right.
You might get blessed in the face here. Christening of the cranium. EX coming through and puts the hands double down with the bar to get the job done. Kawano with the round on the board.
He did him even dirtier, right? Instead of blessing the cranium, he actually blessed the shoes. He scuffed this man's loafers. The disrespect.
Kenneth Coles? Ugh.
We can see the mediums flying
Yeah,
out
loafers,
inside of Nemo.
Oh my God, how is this dude so red? He walks outside the distance with a crouching medium punch, and the medium punch, and the medium kick too, finds a punish and puts him in the corner. Finds a crush too, he's finding everything. Nothing is lost upon this dude. He's wouldn't have did the job. I like how he kept the bar too.
Oh my, this is the picker for him now. Nemo, is he gonna get a side switch? No, he's just going for the damage. He missed his opportunity for the meaty. That is huge for Kawano. 2 bars, trigger locked and loaded as well. But looking down below at Nemo's, he's got the second mirror. He has full critical art, looking for a single confirm off of that. Kawano also not trying to overextend, not even pressing the issue, doesn't even need the trigger. The arm bar is going to be more than enough. Kawano tying it up 1-1 with 2 rounds straight.
I think this match, just in general, was a good, study case right here for people who are maybe having, issues of how to get better Street Fighter V. It's about controlling the chaos. And some of that comes from whip punishing, you know, being outside the ranges of where they want to play at. We saw Kawano come through the standing light kick multiple times on a whip punch against the medium kick and the crouching medium punch from Nemo. Deny access to those tools, you know, apply your own pressure and put him in the corner. And now with that control, Kawano's got to win on the board.
Man, the slight hesitation, getting that crouching counter hit. I can't believe he caught Nemo pressing a button. Caught him again, counter poking away.
Nemo's throwing up the crouch sweeps right there. EX puts the plus frames on him. No bite up from Kawano. Knows the data. You see Nemo just reeling back in the seat like, dang, how are you so ready?
How did you know? Activation off the target combo was blocked, and I love the V-shift usage there from Kawano. That's the second instance where he's used that. Willing to spend the V-gauge, but man.
Interrupting the fierce before it comes through. It puts him in a coffin again for that win. The throw to seal it. It's just Kawano just basing so much of his game plan around the standing light kick that's been so difficult for Nemo to even approach. Everything's being checked. Even if you want to get your fierce out to take back your turn, to let the priority system take the wheel, the standing light kick comes through because he's reading Nemo's tendencies like a book.
Counter hit conversion off of the crouching medium punch again, not wanting to be read again. He wants to be the aggressor. If he's getting countered on defense, he wants to make sure that he puts himself on offense first. Kawano still finding the counter pokes. It doesn't matter what you're pressing, he's still going to counter it.
Walked up to his face, put the shoes on him. Back heavy kick crush. Nemo getting almost outclassed, but here's the crush. Finds a little bit of a combo. Not enough to back Kawano off, though. He's got that V-trigger activation on the deck. Nemo blocking it out, willing to block these sequences out because he will get V-trigger from that way. And does have CA bar in play, too, as well, to threaten Kawano.
Fully loaded, here comes the activation from the V-trigger. But still, Kawano finding the right defense. The back throw has been immaculate in terms of defense. Kawano has been all over it. He has not really fallen susceptible for this Aegis Reflector and continues to not do so, avoiding it completely, getting the blocks down against Nemo's tendencies and what he wants to do to check movement. It's been absolutely flawless. But this anti-air, though, Nemo's definitely got that in check.
Oh, I wonder if that could have been super. I'm not sure if it would have fell off, but Kawano seals it anyway, stays in play, and it's all about control. It's the amount of control that he's putting on, the confidence that he has in Nemo. We saw the walk-up throw right after the Aegis setup right there on the first activation, staying solid and staying steady on the ship. Kawano win it, and he's on game point. Looking nasty, Vicious. This ain't looking good.
It's looking pretty dire right now for Nemo. Not all of his mix-ups have come through yet, and that's kind of scary, right? For a man who practices a lot of Aegis Reflector setups in training mode, he hasn't seen a lot of them.
I'm trying to see a highlight reel go with it, but Nemo just trying to get a hold of the neutral, the buffer off the medium into the EX hands. Yeah, gonna put the Parabellum after the sweep. I like that. That corner push, that position. Getting that damage on the deck, too. There we go, counter hit, three-piece. Tech, though, immediately from Kawano.
We see Kawano slowly inching his way towards Nemo's space. Low medium kick counter hit, but the EX headbutt flies. And even Kawano reeled back in his seat on that one. He's like, really, Nemo? You actually went for that?
You feel like that? Feel that kind of way? Counter hit? Oh, the interruption. After he got hit, he pressing buttons. And these are good buttons to press right here. You've got the extension with the V-trigger activation. Can you stay solid? Off the crouching medium kick, the extension to catch the walk back just like that. Kawano could make the turn back, falls to the Aegis. Didn't have the health to play with. Unfortunate.
Yeah, a price he was willing to pay, but at what cost now that Nemo has a point, or excuse me, a round in game 2? If he wins another round, he's going to be tying it up, and I could bet you Kawano-chan would be feeling real upset about that.
The momentum going. Nemo is switching up this pace. That sweep off the feet is one clear way that he's coming through. Different, but the parry. Kawano says, let me check you with this. You know what this character's about? Can't go gorilla. I'm Jane Goodall. Puts him in the corner.
this is very important right now. We're talking about that activation point. How is Kawano going to find that activation? Is it going to be via whip punish? Is Nemo even going to give it to him? Is this enough, actually? It's not quite. One more touch. The walk-up throw does it. We talked about this exact situation. Kawano has given Nemo another chance at a game. 2 games to 2, all tied up here in the anchor match.
I like the variance of Nemo's play in terms of his buttons. People might say, "What, my man's doing a lot of sweeps out here and things like that," but you've got to put a little bit of sauce on your sticks to be different with it. You know what I'm saying? The sweeps are coming through, getting the crushes. Kawano not always ready, prepared for those moments and things like that. Also varying up the template of normals that are coming through from Nemo. Not so many things getting whip punched, and we're game to game.
Oh, we're definitely gaming right now. The counter pokes coming in. And speaking of, Nemo fires first, actually, with the standing medium punch, getting a full conversion. Now, an important tech throw now. Kawano is still trying to move his way in, and Nemo being a lot more active with the lengthier normals. Does get a full punish off the sweep.
Baits it out. Big punch on the coconut brain.
Still pressing buttons at the verge of stun. I like the bravery there from Nemo. Slowly finding his way out of the corner. What's going to be the usage for the second mirror? We're going to see it maybe come to fruition.
Sends it out, just raw, just to find that approach, maybe out of the corner. Kawano's perfectly fine to deal with that, right? You don't have to deal with the mirror. No enforced mix-up, and will activate his own trigger. As he sits on the normals, the buffer up the medium coming through from Nemo. It's difficult to do, to have a charge always behind that. We said that so many times about Street Fighter League. Having a charge and walking forward is difficult. You have to be partitioning so hard, down bad with it, down back, I should say. The turn. Come on, full screen.
Oh, that could have been so dangerous for that knockdown, as there's only 10 seconds left. Back-to-back EXs, actually both of them finding the mark. An important tech throw now. Nemo is swinging for his life. No anti-air. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. And it's not gonna be enough. Kawano actually barely survived that, barely missing the metallic sphere, almost landing on it. That was so close.
I'm tight for Nemo. If that situation had happened a second before, we've been seeing a time over in the side of Nemo. But the victory in Kawano, set point right here for him to finally find that win. Nemo again trying to go for these sweeps, but now Kawano preemptively throwing out the EX hands. That was at a distance, that would have been hard to punish anyway.
I like that. Man, he's been going to that sweep a lot more lately, but still, gets punished. Kawano firing right back. Parabellum trying to go for the safe jump. He does so successfully. Nemo now again at rock bottom. Big target combo confirmed now. Kawano with a back throw. It could be it. It could be it. Will we see a mirror activation? Will we see a miracle happen with the comeback? Nemo needs to make it happen now, or at least tie himself before getting eliminated from this game. And the V-shift again.
I like that. Oh, also fireball, but not enough. That would have been super sick for Kawano. Just needs one touch or tap to do it. Jump in blocked. EX. What's up the second mirror? Off the backboard a bit. Let me find out, Nemo. We find out you type nice tonight.
Oh my. We see the trigger on deck for Kawano. Stopping the hail completely. He's a man possessed. He knows what's on the line. Can he actually secure himself another round against someone like Kawano? He does not actually. He gets interrupted, and that's going to be the W for Good 8 Squad. I repeat, that is a giant W, yet again a full-on sweep for Kawano, continuing the win streak after his other teammates, Gachikun and Kugura, has taken down their matches. Absolutely vital in acknowledging Nemo as a powerful player, then proceeding to take him down 3-1.
Unfortunate. We saw Nemo try to resort to the sweeps, doing something different with the normals because they were all getting checked and preemptively pressed. But Kawano coming through and caging up Nemo, staying solid, getting a 3-2 situation. 4 points right there. Ooh. 4 points on the side of Great Squad with another win. Dang, that's so nasty. This is the team you definitely got to be gunning for. Unfortunately, Soul not able to take a swing at them, and the sun ain't shining on them. You see Nemo hurting after that one.
Yeah. My mistake. I misspoke pretty poorly, actually. 3-2. My mistake. A lot of respect going towards Nemo. Again, taking it down to the last game. He wanted to survive by one more round, not match. My mistake, ladies and gentlemen. But as you can see how it played out, 100% in anti-airs coming up from Kawano. Not too shabby at all. You see the 0-0 down below as well for the invincible reversals. Fact of the matter is, you know, it's kind of hard to say if she has it or not. It's not quite the same. But Nemo, you know, having his statistics blown up as well, barely lost to Kawano. And I gotta say, I think it's karma because he mocked Kichipamo. And then you saw Kichipamo on his screen. He had his sunglasses up. He's like, you know, I'm big chilling on the bench. No problem.
Man's in the backpack right here. I wouldn't say he's getting carried because he did put in work, but you definitely feel good for your team right here. This squad gonna get the interview, but again, this squad is definitely running deep. They're at the top spot with another win. Yet again, I'm not trying to prophesize anything out here, but I do feel like they are definitely in the running to be in the finals already. Kawano's saying that he's got some new tricks for today, but he was feeling worried before the match. He's glad it worked out well. If we look back at the match, it definitely worked out well. To cage a character that's all about the chaos that is Yuri in, he worked out very well and wasn't deterred from the sweeps off the feet that came through so many times. In fact, a lot of preemptive interruptions with the ace hands. Gachikun saying that they have fought Saishunkan as a way, and it was actually tough for them, and we did see that before, but they definitely came prepared and correct. Even if being at the top spot, they were ready to fight, you know, ready to, you know, not let anything go for free. The situation is different for them this time. They were able to choose up their matchup, so that definitely helped them out.
Oh no, without a doubt. Yeah, being in the home position, we kind of see the advantages that lie within that. And, you know, it's got to feel great as Good 8. No bars intended. You see Gachikun, from the last time they played off against each other, he actually won the anchor match and tied it 2-2 to refresh your memory. And now with the run back, being in that home advantage position, being able to get a full-on sweep, it makes it that much harder for the rest of the teams to catch up and take over that first place spot. We can see the results from today. Shinobiism Gaming taking down Comprised Detonation 3-1, and of course, Good 8 Squad taking down Sai Shunkan Seoul Kumamoto 4-0. We talked about that lead. Good 8 Squad at the very top with a 9-point differential from first into second, where Shinobiism Gaming is, all tied up with the FAV team, all tied up with the Oja Bodystar team, just slightly over Team Gyogun. But the focus here is Mildon Beast with 17, Sai Shunkan Seoul Kumamoto with 14, tied with Camouflage Detonation at 14 as well. And a reminder for you folks at home, as we get closer to the playoffs, we gotta pay attention to the schedule. It's happening for the next episode this Wednesday, not tomorrow, but Wednesday. So please remember to set your calendars. St. Cola, tell me what's going on for Wednesday.
Seoul versus Detonation coming off the deck. The bottom teams trying to claw their way up. And then we got FAV Roto Z going against Shinobiism Gaming. That is going to be a treat either way you slice it. Coming up on Wednesday. Remember, Wednesday. Come through and come correct. Have more Street Fighter 5 action for you.
Without a doubt, we hope you guys have been enjoying yourselves. We have obviously casting it as the official English broadcast for each and every one of you guys up so early. No matter where you're tuning in from, it's always a good time to check out some of the best in the world when it comes to Street Fighter 5, and we do appreciate you guys from the bottom of our hearts. We'll see you guys all Wednesday with more Street Fighter League Pro-JP. Take care.